So we're on pace right now to do 500 million this year. But that time when I was 16, I was homeless for a little bit. Then I was living on my own. I got to a point where I was like, my mental was so bad that I was like, would it just be better if I wasn't here?
Hudson Leo Grande is a 9-figure entrepreneur who's generated hundreds of millions in sales. He built COMFRT into one of the fastest growing e-commerce brands in the world by turning micro-influencers into viral marketers who drove massive sales.
Everything is created twice. Once in your mind and once in the real world. Everything in this room, the cameras that we're filming on, the chairs that we're sitting in, the jacket that you're wearing, it's all someone's thoughts that have become a thing. It's become reality.
Do you remember the day you had the idea for COMFRT?
I started thinking about what's the angle? What can we do to have such a value proposition to the customer that we stand for so much more than clothing? And that's why we really tie into mental health and we donate to a ton of charities and we get really, really excited about helping our customers and showing them that we're there for them.
What was the biggest month you guys ever had in sales at COMFRT?
A little over 47 million.
Wow.
And we're projecting to do 100 million in November. The fastest growing e-commerce company ever.
Is it lonely running $1 billion company?
That's a tough question.
Before we get into this epic interview, I have one quick ask. Well, we've had the privilege of reaching millions of people on the show. The data shows that almost 80% of you guys who watch the show aren't yet subscribed. So if you could do me one quick favor and click that subscribe button right now, it would mean the absolute world to us. Because when you hit subscribe, not only are you allowing us to grow the show, get bigger guests, ask better questions, but you're allowing us to honor our commitment to do everything in our power to help you take your life, your business, your health, your relationships to that next level. And with no further ado, enjoy the show.
Thanks so much for being on the show today, Hudson.
Thank you, brother. Happy to be here.
So let's get into it, bro. A lot of people might see your success in business today. Can you first off give people a high-level overview of the metrics of where you're able to get to today, just high level, and then we'll get into a little bit about your backstory.
So we're on pace right now to do 500 million this year in revenue for COMFRT, and my oral care brand, Purely White Deluxe, is on pace to do about 70 million.
And you did the first 500 million, I think, in the first 3 years, is it right? When you started the company in 2022 to 2025?
Yeah, so we started in August of 2022. Year one, like a full year one, we did 16 million. Year two, we did 170. And then this year, yeah, we're on pace right now. We already passed last year.
That's incredible. And as a kid in your 20s, tell me, it must be surreal for you because I know you dropped out of high school, right? Like taking us way back.
Yeah, so I dropped out of high school my junior year, and I actually ended up finishing at, I went back to night school, and I graduated from night school, which was a crazy experience, to say the least. I learned a lot about myself. It was definitely like an interesting time to just kind of all the emotions that I was going through from dropping out and kind of like having to think about, well, okay, if I'm not going to go back to school, how do I start my life now? Like I have to figure out what's my career, what's my path, what's my goal. Since that time when I was 16, I was thinking about just law of attraction and having this life that I wanted and envisioning what it could look like. And it led me to e-com. Actually, I started in network marketing. So I started...
Vimo.
Yeah, in Vimo, dude. Which,
classic victim, yeah.
Yeah, which could have been good, but ended up being a pyramid scheme. But it taught me a lot. Like, one thing that they did really well was they built incredible culture. The people that worked inside the organization were so passionate and knew everything about the company, so that when they were talking about it, it was like second nature. So it taught me a lot about sales.
And what prompted you to drop out of high school? Like, what were you like mentally processing or debating?
Yeah, I was going through a lot at home. I was homeless for a little bit. I was living. Then I was living on my own.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up on Long Island in New York.
Okay.
And then I went and I was living in the back of a studio apartment, some guy's house in a studio apartment. Ended up being a drug dealer. It was pretty crazy and bizarre. But
how did you end up homeless though? Like just tough.
Yeah, just I was going through a lot, man. I had a lot of I think a lot of personal issues, and just my family was going through some things, and it just was led me down that path. And at the time, it seemed like the worst thing that could have ever happened, but it was actually the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah.
And you were 16 when you dropped out?
Yeah, 16 when I dropped out.
And then right away you start trying to make it work. What are some entrepreneurial hustles you tried aside from network marketing?
I was a telemarketer for a chimney cleaning company. And I would walk to the chimney cleaning telemarketing job, and it was like a couple miles. My car wouldn't start. So I had a 96 Honda Civic, and the car I had to like hump the car. Like actually I was standing behind the car and I would push it back and forth to try to get the starter to go back into place so the car would turn on. And it was horrible, man. When I was like when I was still in school and I had the car, like all my friends would be getting into their nice like cars, or their parents got them, and I'd be there like humping my car in the parking lot. I'm like, dude, we got to figure something out. But that was so the chimney cleaning, and then Vima, and then when I finished up at night school, I immediately went into the car business.
Were you depressed at that time? Like, were you going through a lot of mental health stuff? Because I know, fast forward later, one of the cool things you guys built with COMFRT in the clothing is that there was roots of mental health tied in there, and positive affirmation. So it seems like you turned your pain into power. But take me back to like some of those conversations that you were having when you were depressed at that time. I don't know if it was suicidal or.
I got to a point where I was like, my mental was so bad that I was like, would it just be better if I wasn't here? Like if I just could stop all this, cut out all the noise, and just be done. And it's a scary feeling, right? Because a lot of people have those thoughts. And a lot of those people never end up going through with it because there's some type of, in the back of their brain, it's like, no, man, like there's something better for you. And I felt that, but I was so upset with the situation that I was in that I was like, you get to that point. And I also think it's hormonal too. Like when you're a young kid, you're going through puberty, you're figuring out yourself, you're just kind of dealing with all these emotions. And then on top of it, you layer in like bad things that are happening in your life. And you kind of are always playing the why me card. Like, why is this happening to me?
Victim mentality.
Yeah. And I had that for a long time, the victim mentality, where I was like, fuck, man, like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I in this position? But I didn't realize at the time, and I always look back and I wish I could talk to that version of myself where it was like, we were like slingshotting, like we were just pulling back and just getting ready. Like it looked like we were at rock bottom, but we were just ready to let go and explode. And all of those emotions that I dealt with were leading me down the path of when I did have to deal with the problems that I deal with now and the things that I was dealing with on my journey to get where COMFRT is. Like all those emotions that you experience, like I was happy that I experienced a lot of it at a young age because it helped me. Because when I would get frustrated or shit wouldn't go my way when I was starting my business, like I knew to stay on track because I had felt those emotions before.
So you would like channel the energy into the work, so to speak.
Yeah, man. I used to stay up and I used to sit in the apartment. We got this like white table it's like white plastic table that usually people put in their backyard around summertime. Someone had thrown it out. It was in the front of their driveway. They were giving it away. I took it, put it in the studio apartment, got a laptop that had like some keys missing. There was coffee stains all over it. And I used to sit and listen to like freestyles. Like Meek Mill would like freestyle all the time. I'd listen to like an hour-long Meek Mill freestyle, and I would just like get on my notes, and I would just start like typing all these ideas that I had in my head, but I didn't know how to execute on any of it. It was just like the ideas were flowing. The wanting to create was there. I just didn't I didn't have enough data. I didn't have enough that I learned to actually go make it something yet. But yeah, man, it started back then. Like all that channeling, all the anger.
How about any heartbreak? Any girlfriends, puberty? A lot of times people talk about how that ended up. Will Smith said he ended up being the biggest actor in the world because a girl broke his heart when he was 16. And he wanted to prove he was the man. Did you have any stuff like that, chips on your shoulder?
When I was 22, I had a girlfriend who was older than me, dated some pretty high profile people.
That's always good for the ego.
Horrible for me. I was broke. I had no money. And, I was just trying to live this life out in LA that like I couldn't afford. And it looked like from the outside looking in that I had this great life and like everything was going right. But meanwhile, it was all going wrong and I was miserable. But when I ended up moving back to New York, I don't know, like there was a fire in me that I had not had before. Like I just wanted to prove myself, not to her, but more for me, like all these people that we were around that had money and all these people that were living this great life. And I was like this 22-year-old that like just quit his job in the car business and was trying to work on my oral care brand and was trying to do some Airbnb and was trying to be an entrepreneur and learn. And, then I got home and I went back into the car business for like 6 months.
You were selling cars?
Yeah. I didn't sell any cars. Like I probably sold like a couple cars that month, every month, because all I was doing was sitting at my desk and was working on my oral care brand. So like when I went back to go, because when I first started in the car business, I was very successful at it. I was number one in the country at Hyundai. And then I got promoted to be a floor manager at Toyota.
How old were you when you got into sales?
I was 19.
How important is it, do you think, for people to get into sales if they want to master entrepreneurship?
I think it's one of the most important things you could do.
Why is that?
Because I think you learn a lot about yourself and you learn a lot about what makes people tick. The one thing that people have a problem with is they're always trying to sell something, and people like in the car deal, I'm just looking. I was like, well, no, you're here to buy a car. People don't need time to make a decision. They need information. So if I can give you enough information to make a decision, you'll make the decision. I just have to be the one to do it. And a lot of the time people are so focused on getting the sale that they're not building rapport. They're not understanding human behavior. They're not really understanding the way that the other person is and how to kind of mirror them and emulate them and be a chameleon and just adapt to every environment you're in, because everyone's different.
Were you a natural at sales initially, or you had to learn a lot of this stuff?
I learned a lot of network marketing. And then right going into the car business, I took those skills and I put it there. But the car business taught me everything I know. Like I would not be where I am today if I did not sell cars.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people talk about that. Even for me, I started out in solar selling door to door. I remember we used to knock 100 doors a day. And then it was like try to get 100 no's a day. So now you're knocking like 300 doors a day. And it was just this like insane volume. And it's like you can't repeat that anywhere. You can't get that experience anywhere else.
I had a solar company for a year with my friend in New York. And the incentives and the rebates were great. And
what year was this?
2023? No, 2022. Okay. And we were just like 50-50 on this business, and we had like 10 door knockers, and we would go around and it was hard, like to not only to train, because he had done it already, but like the whole like mindset that you have to get the door shut in your fucking face. Like I never have done it, so I'm not going to say that I have. Like I've never felt that, but I've like been in the meetings after a bad week and I've watched the guys' faces and I'm like, oh my God, dude, like this is hard.
Oh, it's brutal. I remember knocking doors. I'd knock sometimes, say you knock 200 doors a day for 5 days a week. That's 1,000 doors in the hot heat for 100% commission. People slam the door in your face. They lie. They talk shit on you. They literally, you go in the house and all sorts of weird shit going on, and you don't make $1. And you're like, dude, I've been canvassing in the hot sun for 100% commission. And then you get one deal and the commission's so fat, you like stay in the game, So it teaches you resilience at scale.
And it teaches you that people project. Like people project their insecurity and their anger onto you. Like the guy that answers a door that's pissed off at you and doesn't even know who you are.
Right.
What is he dealing with?
Yeah, an issue with his wife that he's taking out on you or whatever it is.
You got to know that, right? In all aspects of business, whether it's in e-commerce and you're working with new employees or creators, or whether you're selling cars and you got a guy that comes in that's, like just looks like he like wants to ruin your life, and you're like, why? You get angry at the person, but you can't. You almost got to like feel bad and pray for them. Because once you change that up in your mind and you switch the narrative from like being angry, but like then also being like, well, you know what, man, like maybe this guy's really having a rough time, and like I should be grateful that I'm not feeling this way.
Right.
And how can I help them? And I think it changes perspective. It changes energy. It helps you with growth.
Now, take me to the e-commerce stuff you did. I know you mentioned the oral care brand. You were working at the car dealership while at the same time building your e-commerce brand at the same time.
Yep.
So it seems like there was a recurring theme of you, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like you were trying to make money, like you were trying to make it. Or take me back to that young Hudson, like what was the vision for you? Like, I want to be a multimillionaire. I want to build a big business. Like what was going through your mind at that time in your early 20s, late teens?
Yeah, so early 20s, when I moved back to New York, Purely White failed for 5 years. Business did not have any traction. I was learning a lot, like internally, but I wasn't making any revenue from it.
And Purely White, for the audience who might not have context,
it's an oral care company. So we have teeth whitening products. We have, we have a kit. We have powders. We have toothpaste. We have mouthwash. We have whitening strips. Everything. So
how did you learn how to do any of that? or were you drop shipping it?
No, so yeah, well, we were getting like a ready stock product, so it was already made in China. We would buy the product in the beginning, and now it's all custom formulated. But back then it was just like, well, before we even knew that we could do that, we actually would buy the box from China. We'd buy the stickers from Venezuela. We had activated charcoal. We'd buy that from the United States, food grade charcoal, because people were used to brush their teeth with the charcoal powder.
Right.
And yeah, it was like, dude, we were just doing everything backwards. Everything was wrong. And I was like, why the fuck? And we would get a couple sales every here and there, and I would freak out. Like I would hear the cha-ching on my phone. I'm like, we're doing it. But it's like, how do you get to a level of like where people are buying every day and people feel like it's a necessity for your brand? So Purely White was the first real business, I would say, that I had started that took me a very long time to get going.
Did you have a partner in that?
No.
Solo.
But I had a dentist that was actually, he's a famous dentist in Venezuela. And he was the guy that told me, I used to model for a very short time when I was like, I don't know, like 18. And he had messaged me and said, hey man, like, you should come model in my country. At the time, we were just joking earlier, I had no beard. I had like just like this like fucking porn star mustache. And I was like, man, like they were like, you gotta come to my country and model. And I'm like, dude, I gotta figure out my life. Like I gotta own a business. I don't want to be the model. I want to be the person that hires the models. And he was like, well, if you want to do that, like look at the Kardashians, they're blowing up. Everyone's focused on looking their best and feeling their best, get into oral care. And then I started in teeth whitening. And that was how the business kind of originated. But then from there, we used to do, so the way that Purely White kind of started was we would do Snapchat promotions. So back in the day, like there was no TikTok shop. TikTok wasn't even out yet when I started Purely White. It took so long. So like back in like, I would say the business didn't start getting traction until like 5 years after that, so right around 2020. And then that was when we started like, okay, now we have figured out some type of method, and the method was Snapchat. Snapchat promotions are key because people used to post a post, right? And they would do a video and they would be saying, this is how I get my teeth white. It would get 4, 5, 6 million views on one post. Wow. Because they used to have it where they were not running ads in between your posts. Now on Snapchat, for every 9 posts, they put an ad. It's called mid-roll program. So they pay you a portion of revenue that they generate from the ads. Back in the day, they didn't have that. So you could actually go put up 2 to 3 videos on Snapchat, and if people liked you and you had a gold star and you would hit their For You page, the discovery page, you get 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 million views on a post. Wow. So when we found that out, dude, I felt like I tried everything. And then randomly one day, this kid that knew me on Instagram, his name's Aiden, he was like, yo, let me just go put it on my story and see if it works. And all of a sudden we went from making like a couple $100 to like making thousands for the day. Wow. And I'm like, does someone think this is like did someone like mess up? Like did like Shopify like accidentally give us money? Like why are we getting sales? Why are there website visitors? Are they bots? Like I couldn't understand it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, it's Aiden's post. And then we started taking that and we would do like 30, 40, 50, 60 people posting a day. And then we got up to like a couple thousand people a month that were posting every day on Snapchat.
And what were you paying them at that time? Commissions or flat rates?
So there was no rate yet because no one had ever done it. Yeah. So we were setting the rate. So it'd be like anywhere from like $150 to $500 a post.
Oh man, that's
but
amazing.
Then when mid-roll came out and then Snapchat cut the views. So of course they don't want to pay off the video views. They pay you for the views.
Right.
So that you go from 10 million views to like 200,000 views, but I would still pay the same commission. So my business went from like 10 million a year to like 2 million a year. And I was still paying the same rate and we were going broke. And this was right after I thought that we like figured it out. We cracked the code.
And you were starting to make millions. You think you're cruising.
I'm cruising, think we're going to come out with new products and double down on Snapchat. And it would be our buffer from when we start to expand in other places, and all of it died.
Damn, so you went from being up millions to literally just the whole thing.
Literally breaking even and actually losing some money the next year. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Hey guys, we'll get right back to the video in a sec. But first, quick question. Are you a business owner, coach, or agency owner tired of using a million different software tools to run your business? Well, thanks to today's sponsor, High Level, you don't have to anymore. High Level is the #1 all-in-one marketing and CRM platform built to help you capture leads, automate follow-ups, book appointments, send emails and texts, and most importantly, generate profits, all from one place. It's used by thousands of 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs around the world, just like you, including many of the guests we've interviewed right here on this very show. And yes, I personally use it too for my own business. So whether you're scaling your business or managing clients, High Level helps you save time, close more deals, and grow faster without the tech headaches. And the best part, they're offering a free trial just for our listeners. So why wait? Head to gohighlevel.com using the link below and start building smarter today.
A big thanks to High Level for sponsoring this video, and you can click the link below now to get your 30-day free trial instantly. Now, let's get back to the show.
And then where was the transition where you decided to start COMFRT? Where did the idea come about? Because it's only been 3 years and you guys are on track to clear $1 billion in revenue since inception.
Yeah, so next year we'll clear $1 billion since inception.
Is that surreal for you to hear that?
It is, but it isn't, right? Because I look at other people that are making what I'm making in a year in like a month.
Right. You raise the bar.
How do you get to that? You know, so like people, like they box themselves in and they feel like they compare themselves to the wrong people. If you can walk into a room and see people that have done 50 times more than you, it just gives you like that much of a gap to go and learn and grow. And for me, it's like, I look at the guys, like, look at what Bezos has done. You know, look at what Richard Branson has done. Like, look at what, look at what some of these, like Simon Beard, my friend who owned Culture Kings, he sold it for $650 million. Wow. Like those brands, like look at those guys. How did they go do it? You know, and then you think about your business and you're like, well, it's been done already. So it's not like it's impossible. So when I hear the number, obviously I'm really happy about it and I'm grateful and I'm blessed and I'm excited, but I'm not the first one. I'm not the first one to hit $1 billion or the first one to start a successful clothing brand. Right. I'm seeing what other people are doing and I'm just trying to tweak it and be better. And it comes down to like the 3 pillars, which is like incredible marketing, like amazing product quality, and an unbelievable community of people. So you have the great marketing, you have some differentiating factor of your business compared to everybody else. And then you have the middle, which is like, if the product is good enough and people fell for the marketing, right? Because they don't want to feel like they fell for it. Because if you fell for it, then you're like, oh, the product's not good. So if they love the marketing, right? They bought in, they love the product quality, and then they love it enough where they tell their friends and they build a community, then you have a great business. Doesn't matter what vertical you're in, you know? So I think we just duplicate that process over and over and over again. New products, expand vertically, look at the market, what do our customers want, and then we just take it from there.
Do you remember the day you had the idea for COMFRT?
Yeah, I was sitting in, I had my first apartment in New York. I was sitting in, there was like a loft area, and I was on GoDaddy.com, and I was looking at all of the names that I thought like kind of like sounded comfortable. And then it would give me a spew of suggestions and I would keep playing into their suggestions. And then all of a sudden COMFRT pops up without the O at the end. It was like $5,000. I didn't have the business yet. I didn't even have a product yet, but I was like, dude, this domain is so good. Like I'm going to be pissed if I don't buy it. So I bought it for $5,000. I sat on it for a little bit. And then that's where we bought the domain name. But once I bought the domain name, I started thinking about what's the angle, right? What can we do to have such a value proposition to the customer that we stand for so much more than clothing, right? And that's why we really tie into mental health and we donate to a ton of charities and we get really, really excited about helping our customers and showing them that we're there for them, right? And a lot of people wear COMFRT as like a shield. Like I have had people email me that have worn COMFRT to someone's funeral in their family. Wow. Or we just sent it to a girl the other day. I sent her a couple free sets. She has cancer and she's been going into chemo and she feels like she needs to wear COMFRT when she goes in. So we sent her a ton of sets. Like it just touches you in a way that makes it all worth it. Because I work my ass off, dude. I fucking work 24/7. I don't take any days off. I haven't taken a day off in a decade. But I don't care because like we're changing people's lives and I'm changing my life and my family's life. And I always look at it like you have one fucking life. Why do you not bust your ass to go be great and to go work and to get uncomfortable and to be stressed out and to eliminate self-doubt? Like, why do people get so in their fucking head? It's just crazy to me. So when we were looking at like what other people were doing, and then I was looking at what we were trying to do with COMFRT, I'm like, everybody wears a hoodie. It has the biggest TAM, the biggest total addressable market in the world.
Right.
If we can make a difference and bring meaning behind it and people buy in and they love the quality, why would it fail? Like you have to look at those things. And It's a problem. Like I ran into my buddy the other day in the gym and he's struggling with his brand. And I've told him already like what to do. And he just hasn't done it yet. And I'm like, are you the problem? Like, are you just overthinking everything that you're just not even getting started? Because the hardest part is just saying, okay, I'm going to do it. Like doing it is...
Not as hard as the mental block.
Yeah, the mental part is just
yourself.
like, dude, let me just go in. And I think that's like for all the entrepreneurs, like I've been grateful enough to have a lot of people that have watched my podcast and a lot of people that have watched me on Instagram and have watched the brand grow. And they always ask me the same questions. And I'm like, dude, your biggest obstacle is yourself. If you could just get out of your own way, you're going to win. You just have to have clarity.
What did you do to expand your mind? You know, a big part of entrepreneurs, they talk about taking imperfect action, right? Not necessarily knowing all the steps, but failing forward, right? You take imperfect action without all the info. For you, was there a time or triggering moment, or was it iterative for you to start expanding your beliefs? I know you talked about like law of attraction, that kind of a thing. When you started the brand, was the vision to take it to hundreds of millions, or was it just to get better and better and better and the sky's the limit? Like, how did you expand your mindset early on so that other entrepreneurs could maybe learn
If
from
I
it?
told you that when I started COMFRT that I thought it would be $1 billion company, I'd be lying to you. And I did not... that number was unfathomable at a point. All I wanted to do was get it to $1 million a month. And I made all these deals with myself. We'll buy a Urus. We'll get a nice this. I made all these deals, right, to motivate myself.
Right.
I had it as my background, the Lamborghini Urus that I wanted. And I had it there for 3 years. I had the same picture. Every time that I would close my computer, I would put my Mac to sleep. I would have the last image would be a listing of a car, and the car was the same car. And even though it sold, I kept it. I never refreshed the page, and I kept it on that car until the day where I decided that I wanted to buy one. I changed it up. I looked for the car and I found it and I bought it. I think that everything is visualization. If you can see it here, you can have it in real life. Everything is created twice. Once in your mind and once in the real world. Everything in this room, the cameras that we're filming on, the chairs that we're sitting in, the jacket that you're wearing, it's all someone's thoughts that have become a thing. It's become reality. So if you can think it, it can happen in real life. And people laugh at that because it makes them nervous. Because now they have to dig deep and they have to think about, what do I think about on a daily basis? What energy am I harnessing? Am I attracting the wrong energy? Am I attracting the right energy? Am I making sure that I'm around the right people? Am I making sure that I'm eating the right foods? Am I making sure that I'm going to the gym? Am I making sure that I'm, sleeping at least 7 to 8 hours? Like, how am I living my whole life? If you have to start to think about all the things that you do, everything is like a chess move. Then you can start to really understand, are you built for what you're trying to build? Mm-hmm. You have to face your demons. You have to really think about, like, where am I fucking up? And do I really have to kick this, this bad habit that I have to go and elevate and level up? Right. So I think there's a lot of things that, for me, I've had to go through and dig deep to just try to get to this headspace where I'm like, man, I deserve it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't feel like they deserve things. Yeah. They're not like, oh, I'm deserving.
So subconsciously they don't take the actions because they don't feel they deserve it. Yeah.
Or they do something wrong and they think that something bad is going to have to happen to them for them to settle the debt. It's like believing in karma, but at the worst way. Mm-hmm. So people will start a business, fuck people over, and then think that it's going to come around and get them, and they just attract all these bad things to come back and get them, and then something bad happens.
What's been the most challenging lesson to learn in business for you, going from zero to now, $1 billion in revenue almost? I'm sure there's been a lot, but what's been the biggest challenge or the biggest one you've had to accept that was tough?
Trusting other people. I have to trust my team with my entire business, my life, my baby, everything that I put my heart, my soul into, all the sweat equity that I put in. I have to trust that someone else cares as much as I do or close to it, where they're going to live for my brand the way that I do. Mm-hmm. Hiring A players, that's the hardest part. But if you can do it the right way, you find out how much better people are than you at things that you're not really focusing on, like email and retention. My VP of product, making product, like I didn't even know fabrics when I started COMFRT. I just thought that it felt good. Right. And we came out with it. I didn't know what French terry fabric was or what cost more money. I don't know any of that. I just knew that, like, You know, if I liked something and I thought it felt good, that people would buy it. But once you start your company and you start ripping and you start making money and everything gets real, now you have to hire really good people to come into your business and help grow. And that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hardest part.
How many employees are you guys at now?
We're in the 30s. We're still so small, dude.
Yeah.
They're all dialed A players that wear a lot of different hats. And we headhunt from other really big companies to bring these people in. We give them an opportunity to come work here. So we know that they've already had the experience at another big company. We're not taking people brand new and teaching them the role. You know, a lot of people want to hire their friends or their family. That's the worst thing you could do unless they're really good at something, or if it's a lower level position that you could teach them and make them good. I hired my little brother. He's great. But like, I wouldn't trust my little brother to go negotiate with China. Like, I just don't believe, you know,
Right,
I wouldn't do that to him, and I wouldn't do that to me, you know? Yeah.
Hey guys, we'll get right back to this video in a sec, but first, I have a quick question for you. Given that the e-commerce industry is growing by the trillions year over year, have you ever dreamed of owning your own e-commerce business like many of the guests we've had on the show, but maybe you feel stuck on how to start? Well, if so, you're not alone. The truth is, starting and setting up your own online store can be incredibly time-consuming, complicated, and get expensive. Not to mention the hassle of researching top products and staying on top of market trends that make you money. Lucky for you, that's where today's sponsor, storebuild.ai, comes in. With storebuild.ai, you instantly get a free custom-built, AI-driven store loaded with 20 winning products and a custom theme that can help you generate sales. All you need to do is head to storebuild.ai, enter your info, then simply sign up to Shopify for free, choose your store's look and feel, and voila! They'll send you your custom-built store ready to generate sales. The whole process is lightning fast. Whether you're just starting out or want to grow, storebuild.ai makes launching an online store easier than ever. So why wait? Visit storebuild.ai, and in less than 5 minutes, you could have the e-commerce business you've always dreamed of. Thanks to Storebuild.ai for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to the show.
What about in terms of hiring, which you mentioned, but retaining talent, right? Because A players have lots of opportunities. So what have you found key for retention with A players?
So retention is always dangling the carrot, right? Not things for what they are, but for what they're becoming. So for me, it's like, you know, look at where we're going. Look at where we're headed. You have to give them the
Cast the vision.
Because they have to believe it, right? They have to say, oh man, I know that I could work at this company for years to come. This is not a fly-by-night brand. Because a lot of the time it's a bigger company that has been around for a long time, because we grew so quickly. So they see that we're only, you know, almost 3 years old, and they're like, well, what's my security?
Right.
You know, am I going to have a job in the next couple of years? Where's this brand going? So you as the founder have to plant the seeds and have them understand the vision, and then they have to be bought in, and the culture internally has to be incredible.
Yeah, no, dude, that's beautiful. Now, take me back to actually the launch date. So you buy the COMFRT website, you have this idea, you're brainstorming what to do, you come up with the idea for hoodies and, you know, really comfortable clothing with a positive message. What was your first action steps to actually get the product out there, get your first sale? Do you remember your first sale? Like, walk me through that first part, because a lot of entrepreneurs, that's the precipice where they either, you know, sink or swim. They either think about it, you know, paralysis analysis, never do anything, or they take the action that ends up taking them to the next level. So do you remember that first sale, that first period of time?
Yeah.
And
So
what that was like?
Yeah. So the first sale for COMFRT, we were in my lake house, me and a group of friends. And we were on the phone with the web developer who was finishing up some final touches. And we had every influencer ready to post our link. We still were doing Snapchat at that time, and a little bit of TikTok. So we had about, I would say like 30 or 40 people waiting to post.
So that was the launch campaign.
Yep. We finally posted of everyone talking about the product and how much they loved it, because they had it for a long time. And I was on the Shopify dashboard, and I was clicking in where you could see the globe and you could see where everyone's coming from and where the sales are going. And I just remember watching it, and like the first sale we got, we actually sent that customer the other day. We sent our first customer like a ton of free COMFRT. They don't even know why. We just sent it to them because we were just like, man, like it was a long time coming. We were working on it for about 9 months before launch. And I remember just seeing people starting to buy the product, and then it became real. Once you get a sale and people trust your website enough to go the full length to checking out, now the opportunity, the opportunity is limitless now. Now what's to say that you can't get 5 million customers or 10 million customers? One person bought it. Why won't 10 million people go buy it? So for us, it was like, man, we started to see people buying. We were priced a little too high in the beginning. So that was kind of like things that we had to work out. The website was broken in certain spots. There's always kinks with the company. So we noticed a lot of kinks, which was great. We got a lot of feedback from the customers, which was great. But yeah, I'll never forget that day because we were leaving the lake house that day. We put the website up. We got in the car. I drove 4 hours back to Long Island. And the whole way in the car, I'm on phone calls. I'm trying to see how the posts are doing. It was a crazy day because I didn't have a lot of systems and processes yet. And I didn't have employees. I had like one person.
Organized?
No.
So you're naturally not an organized person in business per se.
I'm very organized with, like, if you walked into my place right now, you would think that no one lives there. Like, organized as like things are put away, yes. Organized as in like how I'm gonna structure my day, no. It took a long time. I'm like a scatterbrain, dude. I have ADHD. I'd be all over the place trying to figure out, oh, we gotta do this. Oh, we gotta try this. And then I'd see a good idea on TikTok and I'd be like, oh, we should try this. And then, you forget where you even started in the morning. And that was why I was working day and night. Like I would
accounting for the ADD. Yeah.
Dude, I play video games, turn my brain off.
Yeah.
Like I literally will play video games, turn my whole brain off, and then I'll get off the video games and I'll be like, all right, let me just go on the computer for 5 minutes. 3 hours go by. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I have 50 new ideas and I'm like, fuck. But it's great, right? Like you love that you have that creativity, but it drains you, man. You have no time.
Yeah. So you had to learn how to sort of corral the chaos a little bit.
Yeah. That's part of the reason why I brought on my chief of revenue and growth. She's the opposite of me. Very, very organized. Very, very just like, this is the weekly schedule. This is what we're doing for the month. And I'm like, oh, this feels good. You have to be on this Zoom call at 4 o'clock. I'm like, okay, no problem. Like, this is good.
Yeah.
I used to just kind of like be in the car, forget I had a Zoom call, get on the call and be like, what's going on? Like, you can't do that.
Just wing it. Yeah. Now, what about in terms of first week sales? I believe it was to the tune of like over $100,000, right? That first week.
Yeah, we did over 100,000 our first week in sales, and we sold out of like 80% of our stock.
That's incredible. Now, in terms of developing that product, though, what was your process? How much did you put into it? I know you bootstrapped it, relatively speaking. How much cash did you put in?
Yeah, so we sent every single product that I liked, from Abercrombie to XYZ brands, and I'm not going to name. We sent everything to China, and we had the manufacturer, who does an incredible job, make us like a hyper hoodie. And it took, I think we sent 12 different sets, and they sent back like a couple dozen, and we found the one in that batch the first time they had sent it out to us. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I don't know why. I love the way this feels. It felt like putting on a blanket. So I sent it out to a few people. I was like, am I crazy just because I want to start the company? Or like, do you guys like it too? And they were like, this is like the comfiest hoodie I've ever put on. I'm like, yes, we got something. Because again, the product is good.
Right.
Now, how do we market it?
And the name is killer. I mean, how do you beat it? Tells you what it is right there.
Well, I fucked up with Purely White Deluxe.
Yeah.
Like who adds deluxe at the end of a name? Like, whatever. But it would have been cool if it was just like Purely White.
And how much cash did you start the company with?
50,000.
So 50,000?
Yeah.
Did you have any investors or partners, or was all yours?
No, all me. I started Purely White with $1,000 in my mom's basement. Mm-hmm. And we would be making the charcoal powder in her kitchen. Mm-hmm. So we would actually like pour the charcoal into the jar, and then I would get a blow dryer and we would shrink wrap it. And then we would put it in like poly bags, and we would bring it in like a big bag to, well, it wasn't a big bag yet. We only had a couple of orders, but we'd bring it in a bag to the post office and we'd ship out. And then when Purely White started to get big and we were doing like, I don't know, like a couple hundred orders a day, I was still shipping out of my mom's basement. So I'd look like Santa Claus. I'd have like this big satchel on my back. I'd be waddling through the house. I'd be putting it in the car. We'd make 4 or 5 trips to USPS. Like it was a process. Yeah. I didn't know what a 3PL was. I didn't know I could have a warehouse house my inventory. Mm-hmm. I thought I had to buy a warehouse. Yeah. But that's, again, not knowing enough. My one friend's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Why don't you have a 3PL? I'm like, what's a 3PL? He's like, dude, puts me in contact with them. I'm like, this changed my life. So what do we do with COMFRT? Went right to a 3PL. Right. So it's like the process was just so much learning. Yeah. Everything that I thought I was doing right, I was doing wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And then once you guys start getting momentum, where's the moment where you go, holy shit, this is going to be a rocket ship with COMFRT?
COMFRT started doing like 50,000 a day no. Well, that was like, a wow moment. But we were still in peak season. We were in the cold weather. Last summer, we were cracking like a $500,000 a day.
$500,000 in sales a day.
That was when I was like, fuck, like,
That's crazy.
this is going to be cool. Yeah. That was like the wow moment. Like, we're doing $500,000 a day, and then we do it the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. In the summer, I was like, people are buying not only in the summer, but they're like buying at the highest rate I've ever seen.
What was the biggest month you guys ever had in sales at COMFRT?
A little over 47 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And we're projecting to do 100 million in November.
And what is the marketing strategy? It's a little bit of everything from paid traffic to influencers, or what's the marketing strategy for people who are maybe starting a business in present day e-commerce where it's not the same as, years prior?
So the marketing is you have to work with affiliates, right? Micro affiliates, not celebrities. Celebrities don't move the needle. They just don't, because
like
people
Fit T and Kylie Jenner back in the day.
Because people will say, oh, well, they're just getting paid. That's why they're doing it. But for us, it's like we want to work with the creator that has a smaller following that people can relate to more, because the relatability aspect plays a big role in the content. So when you have a lot of people that are watching a video that can relate, and they feel like now they're not only relating to the person, but the aesthetic of the video is good. The background looks nice. The lighting is great. The quality of the product looks great. The video is made the right way. They know what hooks to say. They know what the middle of content should be. They know the call to action, and they're really building a great video, but they're relatable, and they're someone that you feel like you would buy from or trust. That's the video that does well. The celebrity that is endorsed is getting paid to endorse. Would they wear your product if they weren't paid? That is what most consumers think now, because they've become desensitized to ads. They're like, oh, just another fucking celebrity. Boom, 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 boom. The macro affiliate, same thing. It's like if you're a macro creator with 7-8 million followers, but you take brand deals all the time, like people are going to start to just be like, oh, you got a bag. So now we know why you're promoting COMFRT. Opposed to the girl that makes it for free, gets paid commission, and really like puts her heart into the video to like really showcase why she loves the brand and what it stands for. So if you're a new entrepreneur, if you're starting a business, like go find a way to make your business different than everybody else. If you're creating a new category like a White Claw, or like my friend did with Clean Skin Club, he like has these face towels that are like, I don't want to say sanitized. He would tell me that that's the wrong terminology, but it's like, there's no germs on the towels. It's clean. It's good for your face. Instead of wiping your towel on your face that you wipe your whole body with that has mold that grows on it. So he created a whole new market. His business is a 9-figure company. So he created the market, and it took him a very long time because he had to get the people that were watching the video had to become educated, right? Again, it goes back to people don't need time to make a decision. They need information. How much information can you give the person to make them say, wow, I need this? So if you have a business that you're starting, you need to have those things. Like those are the pillars. It's like the business has to have value. The marketing has to have value. The product has to be great. And you have to see what's already been done in your market and how you could be better. If you just come into the market with the same fucking product, you're not going to do well. Why would you try that? Like, why would you go up against a competitor that's killing the game and then just give the same thing that they're giving?
Right.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
There has to be pricing and marketing included with product quality and differentiating factors.
What about in terms of the social media platforms you see with the highest ROI? Do you guys try everything from Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat? Obviously, TikTok Shop. There's a lot of new things coming. YouTube. What are the platforms you guys see the highest ROI in terms of affiliate marketing and building out teams?
We see a huge market with Meta, and the halo effect of TikTok is unbelievable. Let me save everybody the guesswork. TikTok and TikTok Shops has the best incremental growth on your business on every channel that you promote on other than anything. It's better than Meta to Snapchat. TikTok to Snapchat gets sales. TikTok to Meta, TikTok to Google, TikTok to Pinterest. TikTok is where everyone's like, oh shit, this is a cool brand. TikTok is where people are known to purchase now. Like that's why it works so well. Why do you think Meta hasn't come out with the way that TikTok Shops is doing? TikTok has more searches than Google.
No way.
Yeah. Last year.
I know that.
Last year, TikTok has more searches than Google search engine.
Holy shit.
And then think about how many people are searching hoodie, comfortable hoodie, energy drink, soda, healthy soda. Yeah. The companies that are selling on TikTok Shops are going to win. And then guess what happens? If they don't buy on TikTok Shops, they'll go to Amazon and buy it. The halo effect from like The overflow that you get from TikTok to Amazon is out of this world. So businesses will actually take a loss on TikTok knowing that it's going to rank their product on Amazon.
Dude, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Do you see anything changing? You know, they say like the puck, you know, great people see where the puck is, but legends see where the puck is going. Where do you see the puck going with TikTok Shop? Do you see any regulation changes, anything like that you guys anticipate, or do you guys anticipate the market being fairly similar for micro influencers without being too saturated?
TikTok is the best platform if you're starting a company right now. I think that they're going to get better. They're still pretty beta. Like they have a lot of kinks in their company internally that they have to figure out. A lot of their staff is quitting because of the stuff that's going on with a potential ban. So it's been hard for the company to really grow the way that they used to, where TikTok Shop's V1 to where it is now is light years, but they haven't really made many changes because they don't have a lot of staff. Where I see the puck going is if no one fucks it up, where a lot of people already are, they're putting crazy high commission on to pay creators and they're ruining the market. It's like almost like price fixing.
Yeah.
Like everyone's setting it like, oh, we're going to give 40 to 50% commission. How can you survive giving 50% commission on top of the ad spend? It's impossible. I get it if it's a Target collaboration. So for people who don't know this, Target collaboration is like, if I ask you to promote for COMFRT, but I don't put paid ads behind your video and I give you high commission, but all you have to do is post on your page, and if you get on the For You page and TikTok Shop starts getting sales for you, you make 50% commission. But I have no CPA. I have no cost per acquisition other than whatever my cost is that I have to pay you in commission. Right. But if I'm putting paid ads behind a video and then I'm paying 50% commission and I'm not on Amazon, I might as well just go bankrupt.
Right.
But businesses are doing it to try to like get people excited about their brand and like people that they don't even know to promote it. It's not the right way to do business. So all these companies are failing. All these companies that tried that are going out.
So they're just putting a bunch of capital up front to try to get a bit of market share.
And then they're losing.
Yeah.
Go build your fucking company. Go incubate everybody. Go bring creators in and train them and teach them and make them better and get them in your company where they're making money with you that they don't want to go work with anybody else. Because one thing we do that's very interesting is we take all the TikTok content and then we go run it on Meta and Pinterest and Snapchat.
Top performing content.
And then we pay them on those channels. So they're getting like a billion different shots at getting revenue coming in. So you're not just getting the stream of TikTok, but you're getting the stream of every social platform. And that's what we try to do to keep them in. I don't want to work with the creator that only wants to work with us if they think that they can make money in the beginning. Go work with us, bust your ass a little bit, learn about yourself, learn about the product, get winning videos, and then go grind. People they want it to be easy, and unfortunately it's just not easy. You have to go build a great culture of creators. You can't go hope that you're going to go seed a bunch of product to 100,000 affiliates and hope that they're going to keep making videos over and over. They're just going to post once to get the free product and dip.
Right.
You know, like that's what they do.
What's the minimal amount of, if someone's starting a business present day, of affiliates they should have and commission percentages they should?
If you could get
offer?
10 good affiliates, like 10 really good ones, you're in a great spot.
And good defined by X amount of reach? Or?
They're making 30 pieces of content minimum a month. They're
so one a day?
Yeah, one a day. They're which is not that hard once they see that there's money coming in. And then you got to make sure that they're making good content that represents your brand in a positive light.
Right.
But I would say 10. You could scale a business to $1 million a month with 10 people.
Wow. And then you pay dominantly commissions, not the flat fee up front.
The flat fee up front is only if you're starting and you have to give them an either or. So
Right.
like if they don't trust you yet, they don't trust your brand. Hey, I'll give you $1,000 or commission with that, whichever is greater, but I need 30 pieces of content this month.
Gotcha.
That helps a lot.
Now, in terms of growth, where do you see the company going in terms of either new verticals, expansion? I know you got big dreams, so where do you see COMFRT expanding to?
We are going to, so we're getting into sleepwear. We're getting more into a little bit of athleisure. Not athletic wear, but more athleisure where you could just hang out and lounge. We're getting into lighter fabric clothing. So like lighter sweats, lighter hoodies. We're getting into French terry fabrics and just.
There you go. Now you know what French terry
Now
means.
I know French terry. Thank you. Shout out to May, my VP of product. She's like, this is French terry. She like throws it at me. Yeah, we're getting into a lot of new verticals when it comes to like basics, like fleece, fleece shorts and oversized tees for men and like basic like day-to-day wear. We're going to come up with a little bit of a tighter shirt. Not as tight as this, but like, you know, something that is a little bit more form-fitting, similar to like a True Classics. Like that is where the brand is going. So when you want to come and be comfortable, it's a one-stop shop for everything.
That's awesome, man. Now, switching gears a little bit to mindset, I want to talk a little bit about, we posted about it saying we were going to be interviewing you. So we have a lot of entrepreneurs who ask questions. High level, in present day entrepreneurship, I'm sure you meet a ton of entrepreneurs. What's the biggest thing you think stops most people from really getting to that next level? I know earlier you talked about beliefs, but what do you think is that number one thing that really stops most entrepreneurs from maximizing their potential in business?
When they don't see the results that they want, they already told themselves that they failed. So they'll say to themselves, well, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not getting the results that I thought I was going to get. And then they just say, maybe it's not for me. And then they stop. You ever see the image of the guy mining for diamonds? And right as he's about to hit it one last time, he turns around.
Yeah, 3 feet from gold. Most people stop.
That's what most people do. Like when everyone thinks about quitting, right? There's like a level. And when I've thought about quitting, I'm like, well, fuck, this is where everyone else quit. You know, because you have to. Because you know that you're not the only person that's experienced that emotion. You know there's other people that have felt the pain that you're feeling of, man, all I want to do is, when I was 16, I used to say to myself, if I get $1,000 a week, I'll never go back to high school. I'll be rich. I thought that was rich. Yeah. And then I said, if I make $100,000 a year, that's it. I made it. I make 6 figures a year. Like you want to say that to someone, I make 6 figures.
$10,000 a month, you're set.
You're set. And then you realize very quickly that $10,000 a month is nothing and you have to work harder. And back in the day, $10,000 a month was different than $10,000 now.
Sure.
Especially if you live in Miami. $10,000 a month to park. You know, so you have to just, you have to get out of your own head. You have to get out of your own way. And when you're thinking about quitting, you should be excited because it means that you're experiencing new emotion. And I think that's where a lot of people stop. They get very frustrated. They get very angry. Then they start to talk to their friends. Then their friends start to say, oh, well, how's that business going? And then you have to tell them, oh, you know, it's not, you know, and then they're like, oh, yeah. Or like, I told you it wasn't a good idea, or you should have done this. And then 80 fucking people in your ear. And then you're like, what do I do? And it's just a vicious cycle of insecurity, projections, and self-doubt. And if you could eliminate both, you're in a very good spot to win.
What do you do to protect your mental health? Because I'm sure even now, it's like you got to expand beliefs at a level that you have to really protect your energy levels.
Well, all the people that used to tell me that it wasn't going to work, you know, I don't know what they're thinking now, but you know, all those people, I'm sure they've changed their mind.
Did your parents think you were crazy when you were younger, trying all these different entrepreneurial things?
My mom, not so much. My dad, yes, a little bit. He thought that I was crazy for leaving the car business. Yeah. He was like, dude, you're making $185,000 a year. It's a king's ransom. Why are you ever going to quit? And I'm like, Dad, I want to make $185,000 an hour. I want to make $185,000 a day. How do I go do that? And he's like, well, again, love the guy. He's never done it. How do I expect him to give me the information that I need if he's never got the results? I listen to people that have what I want. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to listen to you when it comes to something that you're great at. Like my dad's great with real estate. If I have any real estate questions, I go right to him. My mother is probably one of the most bulletproof mindsets I've ever met in my life. If I ask her how she feels in a certain moment and I hear the way that she thinks about life, or when I had back surgery and I used to complain all the time about my back and how bad my back hurt, my mom's like, you could be the kid that's paralyzed in the hospital hoping that he had a bad back. And I'm like, fuck. Like, she would always kind of put things into perspective for me. So until I started doing it myself, I'm like, it could be way worse. You see the wars going on right now? Yeah. What do you think? I have a bad day in sales and I'm fucking upset? Right. Like, look at the world right now. Look at what's happening in our world. Look at how people are treating each other. Like, and I'm going to be upset. So I always have to put things into perspective. And I think mindset, when you do that, when you get level with yourself and you're honest with yourself, a lot of people are not honest. Mm-hmm. They lie to themselves. They fucking say things to themselves that they know are not true. And it's not positive things. They lie to themselves about how they don't think they're good enough, or how they think that someone else is better, or they'll say that I got lucky. Mm-hmm. You know how many people commented on my stuff when I started posting Instagram? They're like, his dad's rich. I'm like, dude, I was homeless. I had no money. I funded all this myself. I'm not here to argue with that guy
Right.
that doesn't give a shit. If I was broke, he wouldn't even have commented on the post.
Right.
So I don't care about him. He could just go live in whatever world that is. But the people that really want to make it, that let that shit seep in, they need to get out of their own way. They need to get out of their head, and they need to be okay with listening to themselves, like their true self.
Is it lonely running $1 billion company? Do you find yourself kind of alienated and insulated a lot? Like it's a lot harder to relate to people, or people want things, or you know what I mean? On that side of things, how do you deal with that side of it?
As you make more money, you relate with less and less people. A lot of people, and I don't mean relate on a day-to-day. I mean in business. The people that I can ask questions and the people that I can say, hey, I need help, there's like a count on one hand now.
Yeah, they
right?
get fewer and fewer.
Where it used to be I had a Rolodex of people that were doing better than me. And I love those people because they help me leapfrog. Right. But my one talent is if you teach me something, I can become really, really good at it to the point that I can make it actually the best performing thing in my business. So when I would learn how people would grow their company, I would take that, implement it in the company, and then make it one of our superpowers. So now it's like when I call people, like we're going to Richard Branson's island
Necker
Island in the end of July. I got invited to go. Those people who are going to be there, they're billionaires, or they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Those people I want to learn from. I want to go sit in a room with those people at dinner and talk about what they're thinking about, right? Because you said like where the puck's going. I want to hear their perspective, because I don't toot my own horn. Like I believe that I'm right about things, but I like when people are reassuring me with their thoughts that I'm on the right track.
Right.
So I think that it is lonely. Entrepreneurship is lonely. It's not lonely at $1 billion. It's not lonely at 500 million. It's lonely when you're in your fucking room grinding and like only you know what you want.
Right.
Like you're the one, like you're the puppeteer and everyone else is just kind of watching the show, but you're the one making all the moves.
Right.
So it's like you have to be the one to kind of look 5 steps ahead. And that's hard because it's hard to share it with people. It's hard to share it with your girlfriend or your boyfriend because they're just there with you. They're just like, yeah, you got this, because they want to be supportive, but they don't know what the fuck is really going on. Only you know.
Right.
So that's, it's lonely. But you know what, man? Like, thank God if you like attracts like. If you have a good mindset and you want to be around right people, you'll attract the right people. I have a great group of friends. I never had a lot of friends growing up. Never.
Really?
Yeah, in high school I had maybe 3.
Yeah.
And then when I, became successful, a lot of people want to be your friend.
Right.
But then when you meet people that are also successful, that are also trying to find people that are good friends, then you're like, oh man, we finally found someone.
Yeah, exactly.
And they really can help your life. Just your mental health. Being around friends is a big deal.
Yeah. Speaking of leveling up your environment, I know you recently connected with Ashton Hall and you guys are partnering up on
Yes.
a cool little project. What is it about Ashton Hall that made you want to partner with him, and what's the vision for the company?
So I think Ashton Hall is the definition of routine. I think that he is standing for something great. I think he has an incredible mindset. I think he is, I've seen the guy set his alarm to wake up at 3:50 in the morning. I've seen him set multiple alarms so he makes sure he doesn't sleep through it. He is routine and he is standing for a lot of positive things, right? So
when does he sleep to wake up at 3:50?
Dude, I remember we went out to dinner one night and it hit 8 o'clock and he's like, I gotta go. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, I gotta go. Like in the middle of dinner, he's like, I gotta get out of here. Like I gotta go to bed soon. I'm like, all right, bro. Like, and you see it on Instagram and you're like, is it really real? But it is. He actually goes and wakes up at those times and he really does start his day super early. I don't do that. I wake up at like 8 o'clock in the morning, like maybe sometimes 9 if I play Fortnite too late. But like, and then I work really late at night, so I kind of make up for it. But everybody has their own thing. You don't have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be great. But I think for Ashton, like the key to him is the way that he sets his life up and the way that he really works on himself. Like he's in the gym all the time. He doesn't take steroids. He really is like living, like he's a living, breathing, just machine of like going to the gym and eating healthy. And I like that because I want to be around that guy. Because when I want to go to the gym, who do I want to be like? I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
So I think that working with him has been incredible because, at the end of the day, like, you could work with a lot of people, but there's very few people that have a cult-like following that really will listen and buy whatever they're promoting. And I think Ashton is one of those people because he doesn't want the product to be bad. He wants the product to be amazing. He wants to keep, if it was up to him, right? Like he'll put it back into production until it's like he thinks it's perfect, even if it is. He's a perfectionist, and I like being around perfectionists because it makes people want to get the best out of themselves.
Yeah, I saw a cool clip where you talked about him being an influencer of influencers.
Yeah,
And
he has influence over influencers, 100%. There's very few people who have that.
Yeah, I saw that recent video with Speed where they ran or whatever that went viral, where they were like chasing each other. Yeah. So one more question I have for you related to success is, you know, being on this side of the fence where you have a company that's now done, you know, 500 million in annual revenue approaching, and you came from a situation on Long Island where you obviously dreamed of doing this stuff. What's the biggest difference between being on this side of the fence versus what you thought it would be like when you were a kid dreaming for it?
The money buys happiness. Like that, you think that money can buy your happiness. Some of the loneliest people in the world that I know have money. And it goes back into entrepreneurship and how lonely that road is, and people get caught up in it and they drown in it. For me, I thought that money would give me everything that I wanted. It doesn't matter about the watch or the car or the place that you live. It's nice to have those things, but it doesn't change who you are as a person. If you were a shitty person before money, you'll be a shittier person after money. But if you were a great person before money, you have to learn how to keep that great person when you have money, because people are going to want things from you. People are going to start asking you for things that you never thought. Like people will start to try to use you and make it, they're disguised as friends. But they're really snakes.
How about dating?
Dating, you know, man, I've had a pretty good run with dating. Like, you know, I haven't really ran into too many people that wanted to just date me because I was successful. Like, and I think it goes back into personality. Like, I'm not the type of guy that if I went on a date with you, I'd go buy you, you know, a Birkin bag. Like, you hear that in rap songs. Like, that's not a thing. Like, people don't just go do that. Like, what do you want? Do you want love? Or do you just want some person because they're a trophy wife and, you know, they want to just, you know, they just want to have a handsome, rich guy? Like, it doesn't do anything. There's no value there. There's no growth. So I think for me, it's like, yeah, money doesn't buy happiness, man. You have to find a way to continue to be happy through the madness. Scaling a business is not easy. Working your ass off is not easy. But like, you have to find the little things, the day-to-day things that kind of like calm you down and bring you back to reality and make you happy. So it's hard. You're always trying to find balance. I did not know that I would be going through that, the balance aspect, because you work too hard, you spend too less time with your family. You spend too much time with your girlfriend. You spend too less time on your business. You go to too many dinners. You're not home enough in time. You're not getting enough sleep. You're always playing that game of what's the perfect balance. And guess what? You'll never find it. You have to just keep working and working and working. This is the craziest part about the game. Everybody joins the game just to get game over. That's it. Everybody joins the game just to end the game because no one wants to actually play the game. We play the game to get the money, but then we get the money and we don't want to fucking play the game. So you like, that's the craziest part. Yeah. So for me, it's like, you know, I guess I'm just playing the game until hopefully, you know, I get to a point where my whole family is retired. My future kids, you know, like they're going to be taken care of. You know, my immediate family is good. Like I want to do that where I don't have to think about, you know, do I ever have to work for money again? We live life one time. If everybody in this room we were talking to right now, if we asked them what their goal is, a lot of them would say travel the world, spend time with my family. You know, like, why are we not doing that? Why are we here right now? You're working, I'm working. We're working, you know? And you got to keep doing that until you finally get out of the rat race. Regardless if it's 9 to 5 or entrepreneurship, you're working. And that's like, you know, when you think if you have like money, oh, if I have a couple $1 million, I'm good. No, you're not, dude. You're just getting started.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well said, bro. What about your biggest splurges? That you feel comfortable sharing? No,
I'm comfortable sharing it. I just bought this Richard Mill.
How much was the Richard Mill?
$350,000. I can't believe it. Makes me want to throw up when I say that. Because I saw people wearing it at a point, and I was like, "How much money do you have to go buy a $350,000 watch?" Right? Considering it's not fake. And I just, man, I don't know. I wanted to feel something. Yeah. I was like, I had it again as my background. I bought a Ferrari SF90. That was like red with red interior.
You got to do it, man.
Incredible, man. And but you know what it is like? If I'm having a day, can't have a bad day in a Ferrari. Go in the Ferrari, go drive down the beach, and go listen to your favorite music, and just go stare at the steering wheel and scream at the top of the lungs like how excited you are about your life. Like go change your paradigm. Yeah. So you have to escape that. I do things for an escape. The watch doesn't make me happy. The biggest thing that has made me happy. This podcast will come out after he already gets this. I just bought my father a 1965 Shelby Cobra kit car.
Wow.
So we have it right now. In this present moment, it is getting on the truck and is getting shipped from Los Angeles to Long Island, New York. Father's Day, I got him a bunch of stuff. He thought that was all he got.
Yeah.
I told him I had a surprise for him. He probably forgot about it by now, but he is going to be blindfolded, and he's going to walk outside his house, and there's going to be this blue Shelby Cobra waiting for him with a big white bow on it. And that made me happier. He doesn't even have it yet. And I'm happier just doing that act of kindness and giving to someone that I love over the Ferrari, the watch, the Lamborghini, the this, the that. None of that matters. Giving him that like made it's fucking light. It's like changes your whole, not just the way that you feel about that, but your whole day to day. Like every day I wake up excited just knowing that he's going to be getting a car in the next week. Mm-hmm. So that's like one of, I wouldn't say splurging, but it's still $75,000 car. Yeah. And it's, something that will probably sit in the garage most of the time, but like to just see his face will be worth all of it.
Yeah. The feeling of blessing others. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom has a Bentley Bentayga coming sooner or later. She probably won't watch the podcast this far into it, so she won't see that. But yeah, man, you got to take care of your family. You got to take care of your people.
Absolutely, man. I love it. And then before we wrap up, I have one more question, and then we have a quick game at the end.
Sure.
So last question is, for entrepreneurs around the world watching, men, women, from anywhere, at any age, maybe they're the younger version of you that was struggling to find those answers, struggling to make their life work. Maybe they've got their own rock bottom situation, whatever it is. For men and women listening to this who have a big dream, who have ambition, and hear your story and go, well, maybe easy for you, Hudson, you had a knack for it, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What advice would you give for people to finally get out of their own way, get unstuck, and turn their dreams into reality from where they're at right now? Step 1, step 2, step 3 to get out and make their dreams a reality.
Step 1 is you have to envision yourself there. You have to make sure that you actually can see yourself as the version of yourself that you're looking to actually go get, right? So you want to be that person. Can you see it? How does it feel? What car are you driving? What house do you live in?
Did you used to write that stuff down and visualize all that?
Yeah. I used to write it down, but I also used to just say it out loud. I used to say, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I used to say it every day. I used to write things and put them on my mirror.
Even when you had nothing in the bank?
When I had nothing. When I had $100 in my bank account, I went to a 5-star restaurant by myself. I sat down, I got a filet mignon, and with tip, I walked out with, I think, $5 in my bank account. But I sat down around everybody, and I went and I watched, and I saw all the people that were dressed nice, that had what I wanted, and I just wanted to see. I wanted to sit in that restaurant and feel like, am I supposed to be here? So the first thing is really visualizing it. The second thing is making the steps towards going and getting it and smiling through all the bullshit. When you're having a bad day, smile. Changes everything. When you're having a hard time with your business, go on YouTube and look at other people that have made content about what they've done and how they've done it. Go find a mentor. All of those things you have to do. Everybody can go do it. I'm sure that you've interviewed some incredible people. I'm sure that when you were starting out, you were like, damn, did I think I was going to go interview Tate, or like, how does that work? Right. Yeah. But you have to have this vision. And when you start to have it, things start to unravel for you. Yeah. And then you're like, oh shit, wait, I'm actually really good at this. Okay, wait, this new opportunity just presented itself. Because what are you doing? You're just breeding growth, but it all starts here.
Yeah.
If you can smile through it, bridge the gap, smile through the bullshit, visualize yourself where you want to be, and you will make it.
Mm-hmm. And then the last question I have is, when you're dead, gone, and nothing but a pile of dust, what do you hope Hudson's life was all about? I know you're still 29, but you've accomplished some epic stuff, and you're only just getting warmed up.
I just hope that people and my family remembers me to just that I'm an incredible person, and that I care a lot about my loved ones. I want like my great grandkids to say that, oh, Hudson changed our bloodline forever. He created massive wealth within our family. He's the reason why we have this, or why my dad is doing this for a living. Like, I want to be the guy that when I'm like the ancestors that they're looking back and they're like, man, like Hudson was the reason why. And they, you know, back in the day, you didn't have video and stuff. They'll be able to see all this stuff, right? Even if it's 150 years from now, they'll be able to see it when I'm long gone. And I want them to be able to see that I worked so fucking hard to change my family's life.
That's fucking beautiful, bro. And then before we wrap up, we play a quick game at the end.
Sure.
It's a quick game. The way it works is it's called First Things First. So think of it as a word relation game where you just say the first word or phrase that comes to mind. I'm going to rifle off a couple words or phrases. You just tell me the first word or phrase that comes to mind. The only rule is that you can't repeat yourself twice.
Fine.
Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Number 1, your first million.
24.
Your last million. Yesterday.
Today.
That's funny. Biggest limiting belief you had to overcome to get to where you're at today.
That I was good enough.
Best advice you've ever been given in business.
Thoughts become things.
Common denominators that all A players have.
They are creators. They stick with their gut, and they always will trust their instinct.
Failure.
Amazing.
Success.
A byproduct of failure.
How you define success today versus how you defined it years prior.
Waking up healthy and happy with a vision.
Teamwork.
Teamwork is a must. Yes, it's a must.
Comfort.
The fastest growing e-commerce company ever.
Your future.
Bright.
What you hope people take from this interview.
That if you can believe it, you can have it, and that anybody can do it, and it doesn't matter how fucking hard your life is right now. If you work hard and you focus and you nut up, you can make it happen and you can fucking win.
My man, Hudson. Thank you so much,
Brother.
brother. That was amazing. Yes. Thank you so much. Guys, make sure to follow Hudson. Make sure to subscribe, check out all of his content, and check out the links below. Grab yourself a COMFRT hoodie or any of their other gear coming out soon. Shameless plug.
100%.
And until next time, live strong, live with passion. And like Hudson said, go make those dreams a reality. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.